rather strapping, aren't you? If you're here about the traps, there's no need to worry. Claudina fixed them right up. She's really quite good at this. I can almost guarantee that they won't trip anyone else today. Spirits, of course. Ideally the ones that have been terrorizing these poor people. My mentor, Claudina, and I are supernatural specialists. We've been given the important responsibility of investigating Blackreach's disappearing miners. Not yet, but I know we're close. We've hit a few snags, but if we just had a little more time, and maybe a set of extra hands... You look very clever. I'm sure if you joined us, we'd solve this in no time. Interested? Claudina would reward you. We identified a few spots with reported spiritual activity. Here, take Claudina's notes. The hope is that placing traps here will increase our chances of capturing an entity, and figuring out what happened to the missing miners. Exciting, right? I'm not sure. I used to try and guess the conclusions of our cases, but I was almost always wrong. Claudina says not to speculate too early. Each case is different and requires a different approach. I hope the missing people are safe at any rate. Me? Oh, I'm practically no one. I'm just a mage that never really fit in anywhere. That is, until I heard of Claudina's exploits. I've always been obsessed with her work, so I tracked her down and begged her to take me on as her assistant. I don't possibly have the time to tell you of her many amazing exploits. Claudina is a renowned figure when it comes to the study of the supernatural. She's had a lustrous career and published much of her work. You should read some. She's my hero. It wasn't easy. Claudina built her business herself. After her husband died, she used his fortune to pursue her studies, and has been on her own ever since. But I think she saw the benefit in a pair of young hands, and an eager mind. Oh, what a wonderful question. I won't bore you with the details, though they are fascinating. Essentially, these traps will magically weaken the spirit. Once it passes through the physical barrier, the warding spells render it unable to move. Absolutely! My very first case with Claudina, we captured a very powerful ghost with such a trap. I'll never forget. It burst forth from the wardrobe and I nearly died of fright. Thankfully, Claudina pushed me out of the way, just in time.
Phoebe convinced you to help us, did she? You have my thanks. But I hope you're prepared to work. This is a very serious responsibility. We owe it to these people to ease their fears. This is my life's work. I do not take it lightly. My name is Claudina Ildine. I deal in the supernatural and strange. Sometimes that means reuniting families with their lost loved ones that were taken too soon. Other times it means hunting dark, malicious spirits in ancient ruins. Phoebe and I go where there is need. Our work often takes us to strange places, though I will admit this place tops the list. There are restless spirits everywhere. They exist on the peaks of mountains, just as they do in the underbelly of the earth. It's too soon to tell. I have endless theories, but I need more evidence. I would be happy to indulge your curiosities after our business here is concluded. But, as it stands, I cannot afford to become distracted by mere possibilities.
What an exciting case! I simply must write down this new development.
Focus on the task at hand, Phoebe. There will be time for that later.
Did you have any trouble setting up the traps? Great work! You're a natural. Have you ever considered making this your life's work? It's really quite rewarding, and you certainly have the aptitude for it. Anyway, I'm sure Elle will be relieved to hear that they're all set up now. Elle Bitterblade, the head of Dusktown. She hired us, though she's been understandably doubtful since her husband, Overseer Earlvar, kicked us out of the mines earlier. Maybe you could help smooth things over by telling her the traps are set up? Oh, thank you so much. Claudina and I are good with the spirit side of things, but we struggle with people. If you talk to Elle and assure her that we're doing everything we can, she'd probably feel better. She should be right outside the mines. Well, remember what I said earlier about the traps? We had an incident with the mine foreman, but he wasn't in any danger. We freed his leg easily and got all the paint off. We fixed the traps, but nonetheless, the mines are off limits to us now. Claudina, say more about your process. I want to capture everything in my notes.
Those tremors and shakes, I heard it was a vampire ritual of some sort in the northern caverns.
That's it. As soon as I can get out of this contract, I'm leaving this place.
Grumog, please. There's no need for alarm.
But Captain Agaron is missing now. Who will protect us?
We don't need protection. We're perfectly safe.
You're wrong. There's something evil haunting this place, and we're its next victims.
I'm beginning to think hiring those ghost hunters was a mistake. I thought it would make everyone feel a little safer to know we were looking into it, but it's just made everything worse. Are you another one of that woman's assistants? Look, when I hired those two, they assured me that they had things well in hand. But we've got another person missing, and my people are scrambling over themselves in their fear. My town guard, Captain Agron. He was last seen at the administrative offices, but then he didn't show up for his posting. He just up and vanished, same as the others. Possibly, but I wouldn't have taken Captain Agaron for a deserter. If you're helping those ghost hunters, would you take a look in the offices? My people are scared. I'd like to have a working theory to give them, at least. Here, take my keys. They'll give you access. But please, keep your investigation out of the mines. After that incident this morning, Earlvar only wants workers down there. Best to keep everyone safe. At this point, I'm ready to believe it's all a grand joke being played at my expense. I don't know if it's just miners wandering off, or if it's malevolent spirits. But if this doesn't get figured out soon, my whole operation is going under. I started this venture with my husband. Supposing all of this chaos doesn't completely ruin us, our goal is to be the first to capitalize on Blackreach's frontier. A few days ago, I would have told you we were doing just that. Now, I'm not so sure.
You should get out of Blackreach while you still can, stranger. The mines are haunted. Our leaders may be trying to pretend nothing's wrong, but they're not fooling anyone. This place is angry. We never should have come down here. What else could it be? The job offer I responded to promised profits from a new and exciting secret mining venture. But ever since we got down here, we've had nothing but trouble. There's something evil in Blackreach, and it ain't worth the money. Hard to say. They seem capable enough. But what if what we're up against is too big for them? This whole place is one giant unknown. Blackreach doesn't abide by the same rules as everywhere else. Maybe its spirits don't either. I don't think either of them really believe that. They're just trying to keep everyone from panicking. They can only make excuses for so long. Sooner or later, they'll have to come to terms with the fact that something down here wants us all dead.
Are you investigating this now as well? We already have too many people involved as it is.
What is it?
This is the place, Claudina. The locals say Captain Agron disappeared from this very spot.
It's locked. We must find a way inside.
Oh good, you're just in time. We've hit a wall in the investigation. How did it go with Elle? Oh, great! That's wonderful! Now we don't have to find another way inside. I keep telling Claudina you're a natural. You've just taken to all of this so splendidly. I'm thrilled you get to participate in the ceremony. I envy you, getting to experience it for the first time. Basically, if Captain Agron disappeared here, there might be some kind of spiritual residue left over from whatever took place. We need to conduct a ritual to try and harness it. Here, you take the spirit summoning whistle. When I spread the salts, you blow it. And if there are any spirits remaining in the area, the tone will force them out of hiding. It's a big responsibility, but I know you're ready for it. It varies by situation, but I've seen it work well over a dozen times. Some spirits find it more annoying than anything, but others are very susceptible to the sound. There are few supernatural beings that can ignore it, however.
Don't let your guard down for a second. We don't know what we'll find in there. Phoebe gets excitable, but make no mistake, whatever we're dealing with will likely not go easy on us.
In here is powerful. Don't you think, Claudina? We're onto something. All right, here go the smelling salts. Get ready with the whistle. Do you hear that? It's coming from upstairs.
Slow down, Phoebe. Be vigilant, not hurried.
Did you see that basket move? A spirit!
Phoebe, wait. What have I told you about jumping to conclusions? You'll have to forgive Phoebe. She's still young, and for all her scholarly knowledge, she's prone to startling at the slightest provocation. Did you find anything worthwhile? Let me see that. This is from Erlvar, the mine overseer. Could it be mere coincidence that the town guard investigating the mystery of the miners just happens to be the next to go missing? I think not. There is something amiss here. I have some idea. There's one just below, tucked away in the back of the town. Phoebe may be indisposed for the moment, so I'm counting on you to join me. Keep her whistle on you. We may need it.
What was all that screaming?
Elle! No worries here! All part of the process! I assure you!
My people are scared enough as it is, and these excessive displays are just making things worse. You all need to figure this out.
I'm certain these are the caves mentioned in the letter. Use the spirit whistle here. What was that? It came from inside.
Acheron, no! Gods, no! Captain Acheron, he's dead. How can he be dead? This wasn't supposed to happen. None of this was supposed to happen. I don't know. I was supposed to meet Captain Acheron, but as I passed the caves, I heard a cry. I ran in to find him bleeding out. He died before I could ask what happened. Agaron was a fine man. He didn't deserve this fate. This is unacceptable. No, I didn't. You two need to leave. Stop investigating this. Gather your assistant, pack your things, and get out of Blackreach. This is getting far too dangerous, and I don't want to see anyone else get hurt. Please. We're wasting time. Just go!
We need to talk. I feel Overseer Erlvar knows more than he told us. The last thing we should do is heed his advice to quit now. That I do not know, but he seems to be increasingly agitated as we continue to investigate. I may deal in spirits more often than I deal with the living, but I know when I'm being led by the nose. He's hiding something. Let's find out what. Captain Agaron's wounds are fresh, which means the culprit can't have gone far. We didn't see anything on our way in, so whatever attacked him must have left through the other side of the cave. We should see if we can pick up its trail. Come, it can't have gone far. Look! Whatever killed Captain Agaron must have triggered one of our traps. There's footprints.
Northpoint was liberated, but did you hear what Baron Dorell did? He arrested his own son.
Those tremors and shakes, I heard it was a vampire ritual of some sort in the northern caverns.
That's it. As soon as I can get out of this contract, I'm leaving this place.
Curious. Spirits don't use trap doors. Be one with the shadows. We cannot afford to be seen. A strange mist. Follow it. It's over. Stay low.
Bruick, killing Captain Agaron was not part of our deal.
I am a vampire, Erlvar. I have needs. I made that clear when you hired me.
I hired you to protect my people. This was not what we agreed. You've taken it too far.
Who are you to reprimand me? You haven't seen too far. Just wait.
It's all beginning to make sense. Overseer Erlvar employed a vampire to protect the mine. How dastardly. I believe that explains the missing miners quite succinctly. He must have given the vampire people in exchange for protection for the rest of his workers. But from what, I wonder? Not yet. Despite our ingenious detective work, right now it's still the Overseer's word against ours. And he's already given Elle reason to distrust us. What we need is definitive proof, then she'll have to listen. I believe the Overseer's office is just across the mine. We should investigate. Of course, we have to find a way in first. Perhaps you could pick the lock, or steal his key. I'm somewhat out of my element now. Excellent. You are truly the purveyor of justice Phoebe made you out to be. Just be careful. If we manage to get ourselves caught, we won't get the chance to prove anything.
Sometimes I just stare and listen.
I've summoned the guard.
What did you find? That look on your face. Tell me you found something. And explains what he was trying to protect his people from. It is not enough to simply turn this evidence over to Elle. I was hired to help this town. Spirits or no, I have a responsibility. We must stop this horror. The vampire seemed as though he was threatening Overseer Urvar at the end of their altercation. Perhaps he's planning some kind of retaliation. If so, there's a chance we could catch him in the act if we find him. We need to investigate the mines. There has to be a clue that will point us in the direction of that monster. Let's leave here. Dusktown needs us. This has to be the vampire's doing. I bet he didn't stop at one. Look for more. The vampire. Follow him, but stay out of sight. Fiend. We have to stop him. Curse him. We'll never be able to catch him like this. How do we apprehend a man who can vanish into thin air right before our eyes? Vampires do not obey the same laws as specters and ghosts. My tools would be useless against him. Unless... Phoebe's whistle. Do you still have it? It's designed to emit a tone that's unsavory to immortal creatures. Perhaps it will disturb him. It's impossible to say without evidence. But it wasn't made specifically with spirits in mind, so there is a chance. Go on, try it. This is the only plan we've got. There he goes. Follow him. More bodies. He's leaving a trail. He's not getting away.
You'll die like all the rest.
We have our proof. Let us return to Dusktown.
So much to do. This is ridiculous. You can't waltz in here and accuse me of such a thing.
My husband would never do something so insane. I don't suppose you have any proof?
Proof? What proof could they possibly have?
You and your associates accuse my husband of outrageous actions. Making deals with monsters? Murder? I hope you have a damn good reason. Let me see that. Donors? But I don't understand. You can't mean... Earlvar was feeding innocent miners to a vampire in order to keep everyone safe? How could this happen? How could I not have known? These were my people! The fact that he realized he was in over his head doesn't excuse the abhorrent decision in the first place. This is sickening. We both want to protect our people, but to think he'd resort to something so barbaric. You're right. We would have been left to wonder and kept losing people were it not for you and those two over there. Just tell me one thing. Did you kill the vampire responsible? Good. Good. At least there's that. Earlvar, you foolish man. What have you done?
Everything is ruined. I swear to you, I was only trying to keep my people safe.
Another case solved. Though we weren't dealing in spirits today, I have no doubt you'd make a fine ghost hunter. You have a natural talent for investigation. Elle has my sympathy. It is not easy to condemn someone you love. She's strong. She will be fine. Anyway, it was an honor to work with you. If you ever find yourself tangled in the world of spirits again, I do hope you'll seek us out. Here, take this for your time. You undoubtedly deserve it. You know, I think...
I did
You did
what
it!
was needed.
I can't believe this was only your first case. You were incredible. You remind me of Claudina. Oh, I want to be more like both of you. Fearless, strong, unbeatable. Thank you for stepping up to help. We couldn't have done this without you. Yes and no. I was rather excited about the possibility of encountering a spirit down here. This is unmapped territory in both the physical and spiritual sense, after all. But I am glad we were able to help these people. It feels good to be of use. I'm not quite sure. Claudina and I travel all over, wherever the work takes us. But wherever we end up, I hope you'll seek us out. Next time you see me, I'll be much braver and have quite a few more cases under my belt.
You know, I think Phoebe looks up to you. You've become a point of inspiration for her. I know we both hope our paths cross again. Perhaps. I still sense dark energies here. This place writhes with uneasy spirits. Overseer Earlvar was the culprit this time, but with him removed, perhaps the true spiritual mysteries of Blackreach will unravel themselves. Happiness is not something I often associate with my line of work. Dealing with the dead is often a somber affair, but dealing with the living can be too, I suppose. I am merely satisfied with our end result.